Hello, everyone, and welcome to the new week. I hope everyone had a great weekend. All focus for this week will be on the two-day Federal Reserve meeting, which concludes on Wednesday, the ensuing interest rate decision and future guidance from Chairman Powell coming initially at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time Wednesday, and then the news conference 30 minutes later. Alongside that, we have continuing US earnings reports, including Apple, who report after the ban on Wednesday. And of course, we have the continuing Brexit saga, as well as a potential general election to be announced in the United Kingdom. So plenty to focus on for the new week. As is often the case when we have major events later in proceedings, the start to the week can be a little quiet, and that would be the case for Monday. Euro dollar and sterling would rally by about 20 points from their Friday's closes to sit at 111 and 128.45 respectively at the beginning of the US session. Otherwise, FX is happy just to sit and wait. Equities, on the other hand, were keen to start the week in the green, with the DAX approaching the 13,000 level and US equity futures pointing to some solid gains at the open. One big mover we've had since Friday, or actually really kind of began very late on Friday, has been crypto, following some positive comments from Chinese President Xi. Bitcoin rallied from around the 7,500 area to a high just above 10,500 before settling at 9,400 at the beginning of the new week. Crypto desperately needs signs of large-scale adoption, and positive comments from a country such as China comes at a time when crypto prices have been under a lot of downside pressure. It does remain to be seen whether the rally is sustainable, but after the fairly sustained sell-off following Facebook's testimony to the US Congress, this would provide some welcome relief to the crypto bulls out there. Back to equities, and US stocks open higher, with the Dow Jones initially up 145 points, and the S&P making a new all-time high of 3038, which was plus 16 points in the day. Gold is the main sufferer, if you like, amidst the euphoria, dropping down from 1505 down to 1493. And as the day progresses, stocks start to leak a little bit and give back a few gains, which does see yen crosses back off a bit from their highs, but that move lower is short-lived. The stocks do bounce back, and the yen crosses actually move to their highs and close near the highs of the day, with dollar yen breaching 109 and euro dollar remaining fairly close to 111. In Brexit news, the EU agreed to an extension to January 31st, 2020, which was pretty much expected. Boris Johnson lost the vote in the House of Parliament to hold a general election on December the 12th, although it is rumoured he will put that before the House again before the end of this week. Neither news headline really had much effect on sterling, which spent much of the US afternoon around the 128.65 area. As we headed to the close, US equities off the highs from the day, but still a pretty impressive start to the week, with the S&P still registering an all-time high close, and the Dow Jones ending up by 132 points. All in all, a pretty good start to the week, but obviously much more to come. To touch on a technical piece just to end the day, I'm going to look again at euro yen. Despite the impressive performance by equities today, it was a relatively calm start to the week for FX, and the day itself was probably represented best by euro yen, which, as I said, I looked at last week. As you can see from the hourly chart, we have some solid support now below this 125, 35.40 area, which we had a couple of goes at breaking last week, particularly on Friday, where we closed really just off that level, but did hold quite nicely. And while that level holds, we would certainly look to have a look maybe at challenging the highs we made last week, where we've had a couple. You can see there's been a couple of efforts here to break. We had a spike up to 121.40, 121.50, and we had another one here. Just shy of 121.40. So we had three goes up there, which got rejected fairly quickly, but the price action so far has been fairly constructive. And if we do hold this level, then maybe potentially we have another test up towards those highs later in the week. And with that, I shall bid you all the best of luck for your trading on Tuesday, and look forward to speaking with you soon. Cheers.